It all started with the sound of rain against the tin roof of the old barn. Out here on the farm, you grow used to the rhythm of weather. Sun scorching the hay fields, wind rattling the windows, rain falling heavy on nights when you can't sleep. But that night, I wasn't thinking about the crops or the cows. I was thinking about her, about Emily. I should probably start from the beginning. I've lived on this farm my whole life. It's not big, not small, just enough land to keep me working from sunrise until after dark. Wheat fields, a couple of dozen cows, some pigs, and a stubborn old tractor that breaks down whenever I need it most. My parents left the place to me when they moved into town a few years back, and since then, I've been running it on my own. Life on a farm isn't easy, but it's honest, and for the most part, I liked the quiet. Until Emily showed up and turned that quiet into something I never expected. Emily was my neighbor's niece, come down from the city to get away, as she put it, for the summer. The first time I saw her, she was standing at the fence in a sundress, hair catching the wind, laughing at something my neighbor's old hound dog was doing. She didn't belong here, not with her soft hands and city clothes, but she lit up the whole field like she'd always been a part of it. "Hey," she called out when she saw me walking up the dirt path, sweat still running down my back from hauling hay. "You must be the guy who runs this place." "That's me. Name's Luke." "I'm Emily," she said, offering me a smile that made the sun look pale. And just like that, I was lost. At first it was small things. She'd wander over to the farm, saying she was bored at her uncle's place. She'd follow me into the barn, asking questions about the cows, about milking, about the tractors. She'd laugh when I teased her for not knowing the difference between hay and straw. Sometimes she'd bring sweet tea in a mason jar, sit on the fence, and talk about the city. The lights, the noise, the people. It felt like two worlds meeting, hers buzzing and alive, mine steady and rooted. I didn't mean to fall for her. Lord knows I didn't. But every time she looked at me with those bright eyes, like she actually saw me, not just some farmhand covered in dirt, I felt something shift inside me. One evening I found her in the barn brushing one of the horses. The sun was setting through the open door, painting everything gold. She looked up at me and grinned. "You know, I've never done anything like this before. I think I'm falling in love with farm life." I chuckled, leaning against the wooden post. "Careful. Farm life has a way of getting into your bones. Hard to shake once it does." She stepped closer, brushing hair out of her face. Maybe I wouldn't want to shake it. That was the first moment I knew I was in trouble. Days turned into weeks. We spent evenings sitting on the porch, fireflies sparking in the fields, her laughter carrying into the night. She'd ask me questions about my childhood, about my parents, about why I chose to stay here. I'd listen to her stories about the city, about college, about dreams too big for this little farm town. And yet, she kept coming back, kept sitting beside me, like maybe the quiet wasn't so bad after all. But love on a farm, or anywhere really, never stays simple. One afternoon, I walked over to the fence line and found her talking to Daniel. Daniel's the kind of guy who makes trouble without even trying. He runs one of the bigger farms out past the ridge, cocky as a rooster, always showing off his new trucks and his big machines. I've never liked him, and he's never liked me. And that day, seeing Emily laugh at something he said, something inside me twisted hard. When she saw me, her face lit up. "Luke, come join us. Daniel was just telling me about the county fair coming up next weekend." Daniel smirked. "Yeah, figured maybe Emily would want to see what real country life looks like. Are you planning on going, Luke?" I clenched my jaw. "I usually don't have time for fairs." "Shame," Daniel said, his eyes sharp. "Guess I'll just have to show her around myself." Emily shifted uncomfortably, glancing between us. I wanted to believe she didn't mean anything by it, that she wasn't interested in him, but that night, lying awake in my bed, I couldn't stop picturing them together under the fair lights, her laughing at his stupid jokes, his hand brushing hers. Jealousy is a dangerous thing. The next few days, things between me and Emily felt different. She was still sweet, still kind, but I noticed the way she talked about the fair, the way her eyes seemed to drift when I spoke. I tried to shake it off, told myself I was imagining things, but deep down I felt the shift. The night of the county fair, I told myself I wouldn't go. I had chores, I had excuses, but when I saw the headlights of Daniel's truck pulling up to her uncle's house, something inside me snapped. I grabbed my jacket, jumped in my old pickup, and drove down to the fairgrounds. The place was alive, music playing, lights flashing, the smell of fried food and hay in the air. I searched in the crowd until I saw her, Emily, in that same sundress, her hair curled just so. She was standing beside Daniel, holding a cotton candy, laughing at something he said. It felt like a punch to the gut. I don't even remember walking over, but suddenly I was there, standing in front of them. Emily's smile faltered when she saw me. "Luke, I didn't think you were coming." Daniel grinned, smug as ever. "Looks like the farmer changed his mind." I stared at Emily, my voice rough. "So this is what you wanted? To play around with me until something better came along?" Her eyes widened. "What? Luke, no, it's not like that." But I was already walking away, the noise of the fair drowning out her voice. For the next week, I avoided her. I buried myself in work, fixing fences, feeding animals, anything to keep my hands busy and my mind off her. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't forget the look on her face that night, the hurt, the confusion. Finally, one evening, she showed up at the barn. I heard her before I saw her, her footsteps soft on the wooden floor. "Luke," she said, her voice trembling, "please talk to me." I didn't turn around. "Thought you'd be with Daniel." "I don't care about Daniel," she said, her voice sharp now. "I care about you, but you won't even look at me." I spun around then, anger and pain boiling over. "What am I supposed to think, Emily? You're laughing with him, going to the fair with him. You don't belong here. You never did." Her eyes filled with tears. "Maybe I don't belong here, but I thought I belonged with you." The words hit me harder than any fist. We stood there, the silence heavy, the smell of hay and rain filling the air. Finally, I stepped closer, my voice softer. "Why me, Emily? You could have anyone. Why stay here with some stubborn farmer who doesn't know a damn thing about the world?" She smiled through her tears. "Because you're real, Luke. Because when I'm with you, I don't feel like I'm running from something. I feel like I've finally stopped." And right there, in that old barn with the rain pouring outside, I kissed her. It wasn't the end of our problems. She still had a life in the city, and I still had this farm. There were choices to make, roads to take that would tear us apart or bring us closer. But that night, holding her in my arms, I knew one thing for certain. Love, messy and complicated as it is, had found me here on this farm, and nothing would ever be the same again. That's the story of how a summer turned into something I never expected. A story about love, jealousy, mistakes, and second chances. Out here, the fields keep growing, the cows still need milking, the work never ends. But when Emily smiles at me across the porch, I know all of it. The sweat, the struggle, the heartbreak was worth it. Because sometimes, even in the quietest places, love finds a way to roar louder than the storm.
Thanks for watching. Don't miss the next story.